A family vacation to Florida. A reunion with some relatives. You know, for 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier, it was all supposed to be a pretty simple trip. But it ended in a tragic mystery that all started with a single, absolutely haunting text message.
It all comes down to these two words, sent in the dead of night, from a son to his mother. Now, you'd think a message like that would be impossible to misinterpret, right? Yet somehow, it became the starting point for a story with two very, very different versions of the truth.
And this wasn't just some casual text. This was a desperate plea that would launch a frantic search and uncover a story just full of conflicting accounts and, to this day, so many unanswered questions.
So, who was the young man who sent that terrifying message? And what was he even doing in a car, in the middle of the night, so far from his family? Let's get into it.
Giovanni, or Gio as his family called him, was just 18. He had just graduated from high school. His whole life was right there in front of him. That summer, he was on vacation with his mom and siblings down in Florida, a trip that should have been totally normal, but one little detail made it very, very different.
The trip was always meant for family. But for Giovanni, it was also a chance to connect with a part of his family that he didn't really know well at all.
You see, Giovanni's father was incarcerated, so he hadn't had much contact with that side of the family. According to his aunt, when he found out that his cousins lived in Florida, he was genuinely eager to finally connect. So he arranged to spend the very last day of his vacation with them, right before his family was scheduled to drive back home to North Carolina. Okay, just look at how fast everything completely fell apart. His cousins pick him up at 1:30 in the morning. Less than 30 minutes later, he's desperately texting not just his mom for help, but his grandfather and an aunt too. He even tried a phone call and then a FaceTime. But, you know, it was the middle of the night. His mother was asleep. She wouldn't see any of it until hours later at 6:20 a.m.
And this is exactly where the mystery deepens. Because when Giovanni's mother started asking questions, she was met with two completely different narratives about what happened to her son.
So on one side, you have the cousins story. They told police they all smoked some marijuana, and then Giovanni just suddenly panicked, pulled out a knife, and bolted from the car. But on the other side, you have his family, who insist that behavior makes zero sense. They believe he was abandoned and that the cousin's version of what happened, it just doesn't add up.
And this is the question at the very heart of the family's doubt. And it was voiced by his aunt, Desiree. I mean, think about it. If Giovanni was the one acting erratically, the one causing a problem, why was he the one desperately texting 3 different family members for help?
And then there's the phone itself. His mother, Bridget, was the one who actually found his backpack and his phone on the side of a road using GPS. And for her, this was just impossible. As she put it, Giovanni would never have left his phone behind voluntarily.
So with Giovanni missing and the official investigation just getting underway, his family took matters into their own hands. They launched an absolutely desperate search effort. Remember, the family was from North Carolina, and now they were stuck in Florida with no idea where their son was. So to cover all the unexpected costs of housing, travel, printing flyers, they started a GoFundMe. The community really rallied around them, raising over $14,000 to fuel the search for Gio.
On top of that, they pulled together a $10,000 reward for any solid information. I mean, they were willing to do anything and pay anything to get answers and bring their son home.
The first major break in the case actually came from Gio's own phone. Using its GPS, his mother tracked it to the side of a road in Bradenton, where a truck driver had spotted his backpack. This was pivotal. It confirmed their worst fears. Gio was somewhere out there, alone and without his phone or his belongings, the very things his mother knew he'd never, ever abandon.
After more than a week of just agonizing searching, the case took a dark and truly tragic turn.
So with the backpack found, authorities zeroed in on that specific area in Manatee County, right near the highway interchange where the phone last pinged. The search now had a clear, terrible focal point.
Then, on August 9th, came the news everyone had been dreading. The sheriff's office announced the discovery of a body. It was a male, found in a retention pond right near that I-75 off-ramp, right in the heart of the search area. Now, authorities were careful to state that the identity wasn't yet confirmed, but for the family,
any real hope of finding Gio alive was fading fast.
So while the physical search for Giovanni Pelletier has likely come to a tragic end, the search for truth, well, that's just beginning. What really happened in that car during those critical 25 minutes? And will his family ever get the answers they so desperately need?